Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me in the home stretch here today. This will be our last session of the day. So we have a quick 20 minutes to talk about data, and then it'll be a wrap. Let me go ahead and get my screen share working here. There we go. Okay. So we started tackle coming up on our 8-year anniversary here soon. It's really felt like a lifetime. But prior to that, I was in the shoes that most of you are in. I was working for an ISV. We were trying to lean in a little bit more to our AWS partnership, and one of the ways that we wanted to do that was to list our product in the AWS marketplace. At that time, SaaS listings weren't possible in the marketplace. But in 2015, we were able to get into the first beta program where we were one of 5 ISVs who launched SaaS listings along with AWS. And that's really where I got my experience from, why I became passionate about this area, and why I went on to launch Tackle about a year later. When we first started, what we were really focused on was getting people integrated with the marketplace and getting them operational, or sometimes we say transactable, getting them to a state where they could accept transactions. But what we quickly found was that really wasn't enough. That was sort of a starting line. What we actually needed to do was to help them expand and incorporate their cloud go-to-market into their existing go-to-market motions. So that's what we started to build out on. And a really funny thing happened as we started to see success with that is that we started to gather a lot of data. Uh, and I shared some of the stats on the data that we've collected here on the slide. But the one that I'm personally most proud of is the 22,000 offers transacted stat. What that means to me is that we were able to help take something that was in sort of a chicken or the egg scenario where sellers sort of wanted to be in marketplace and buyers sort of wanted to be in marketplace, but there wasn't really a clear first mover to establishing a real marketplace where transactions are happening, and not just a little bit, but the volume continues to go up, and we see growth quarter over quarter. So of those 22,000 transactions, that's over $9 billion that's been distributed from all 3 of the cloud marketplaces out to ISVs like yourselves, which is pretty amazing. And as we've seen that, we've been able to uncover a wide variety of different problems and use cases that we didn't really even know existed up to that point. And as it turned out, a lot of those problems could be solved with data. That's something that's very interesting to me, because that's really what my background is in data and data science and machine learning. So I was really excited to see how we could apply some of those concepts to the data problems that our customers were seeing. So a few years ago, we went out and invested in our own data and intelligence team internally. We were able to take some passionate engineers who had a great AI and ML background, put them on that team, even hire some outside help to help bolster that and to get them working. And when we created that team, we really gave them 2 foundational principles to work from. The first was that we had to go above and beyond to respect our customers' data privacy. That's something that is really fundamental to all of the work that we do at Tackle related to data, is to make sure that we exceed the expectations that we have with all of our customers with respect to data privacy. And it's been challenging for the team, but they've really risen to the bar. And I can say with confidence that all the data products we've built, the ones that are GA, the ones that are in early access, the ones that are coming soon, all of them meet that criteria and respect the data privacy of our customers. And the second one is that they had to solve real customer problems, especially when it comes to data. It's really easy to get sidetracked from thinking about our customers and trying to solve the problems that they have. You can get into experiment mode really easily. Luckily for us, though, we have a lot of great customers who are starting to have great success with their cloud go-to-market motions and have really gone above and beyond to sit down with us and help us understand the pain points and help to iterate with us as we built solutions for those problems. So today, what I'm going to be sharing with you are 6 different data products that we built. Some of them are already GA. Some of them are in early access, and one of them is coming soon, something we haven't talked about before. So I'm excited to share it for the first time today. And a variety of different use cases that those data products can solve. So hopefully everybody can learn something new today. And thanks to all any of the customers on the call who have worked with us in these early access programs, just thanks again for sticking with us. So as we're building this program, the first really important question we had to answer is what is the scope of our data products? What problems are we willing to solve? Because cloud go-to-market is really a pretty big area. There's really a lot to it. There's a lot of different things that we could do, and so we had to start by thinking about the breadth and forming a point of view. And so what you see on the screen here, this is Tackle's point of view on the scope of the problem. When we think of cloud go-to-market, these are all the different steps that we think are important. I think that the width of this might be surprising to a lot of people. We're primarily known for our ability to help companies transact through cloud marketplaces. After all, that's where we started. We can apply our data to help companies accelerate their sales cycles. That's the metric that we measure and look at the most when it comes to transactability. Is are we helping customers get those offers out the door, get them accepted, and most importantly, get them accepted faster than deals that aren't going through the marketplace. So we think we can definitely help there. I'll show that to you. But then from there, we want to expand out to the right and to the left. Partnering is an area that's become more and more integral part of our story over the last couple of years. I think it was at the XP event 2 years ago during our first XP event where we sort of started to announce that partnering and co-sell was something that Tackle was going to get in more interested in, and it was going to be a big investment area. We went out and made an acquisition of Core Plus Consulting to really double down on that, and now it's something that's become table stakes. Any solution like ours has to, in addition to transactability, it also has to have a partnership story. Co-sell has to be part of it. But now beyond that, moving even further to the left, we're starting to think about how we can get further and further up the funnel to think about targeting. How do we go and find accounts and tell them exactly what's going to happen? How do we get to beyond that to ABM? How can we help you craft campaigns? And then even further, how can we help you build those account lists in the first place? When you're just starting to think about what your ICP looks like and starting to refine that, how can we help you there? So overall, we're thinking about this whole end-to-end story for our data products, and the 6 that I'm going to tell you about today are all across the map. We'll start over on the left and then move to the right on this diagram to talk about the outcomes that we can achieve. And the outcomes are on the top of this slide for each area. Those are the primary things that we think we can solve for. And it's also really important for us not only to create these data products, but to put them in the hands of the users who can take action on them. This is a major problem throughout the industry with data. Is the data by itself doesn't really mean a whole lot. It's only when you take the data and you take the information and get it in the hands of somebody who can do something with it that it becomes important. And for us, one of the primary ways we do that is to expose it through our Salesforce app. And when we were defining the schedule for this XP session, they asked what I wanted to talk about, and I initially said I want 2 things. I want to talk about data, and I want to talk about Salesforce. And I ended up having to pick one. I can only have one, so I went with data. But just to give you the quick pitch on Salesforce, since it's the other area that I'm really passionate about right now, is that if there's one key thing that you could take away from this session about Salesforce, it's that not all Salesforce integrations are equal. I think that there's really 3 tiers of Salesforce integrations and apps. The first is a true integration, where there's just synchronization of Salesforce objects between systems. So maybe there's we're taking the opportunity objects, we're adding information about opportunities, and we're synchronizing that with Salesforce. That's the lowest level. Medium level would mean that we would start to use Apex, which is Salesforce's programming development kit, and we would start to build an experience out within Salesforce. So now a seller could work on a third-party app within Salesforce. Maybe they're doing that in a basic way through something like an iframe, or maybe it's a fully built out experience, but it's kind of a standalone tab within Salesforce. That's the second level. The third level is full integration across the Salesforce workflows. So we're talking extending the base objects, creating workflows that tie them together, and even creating new objects within Salesforce. And when that's done correctly, that's when a Salesforce app can become really powerful, because the sellers who are using it don't even necessarily feel like they're using an outside app. It just feels like everything they need is available cohesively within their existing workflows. And that's what we're trying to build at Tackle. We're trying to build the best-in-class user experience for sellers who need access to all this information at the right points in time. So one ask for the audience here, in chat, either in the public or private to me, I'd love to know your favorite Salesforce package that you think gives the best experience or adds the most value to your Salesforce workflow. I just want to take a look at them and learn from them. So that would be awesome if you could do that before the end of the talk today. Okay, so first product area. We've built out a product that allows you to find your TAM overlap with the different cloud providers. This is really useful for a company who's maybe new to cloud go-to-market, and they don't quite understand the potential or how big it could be for them, because everybody has a different customer base. They have a different market, and they don't really know, like, is that the same market that AWS is serving, or one of the other cloud providers could be better? And so we can do an analysis on your account list and show you how well it overlaps with the different cloud providers. This can provide some strategic direction on where you should partner first. You should probably do all 3, but which one are you going to do first? Which one are you going to do today? And how are you going to go after that? How are you going to measure that relationship over time? The best way to do that is to know where you're starting from. What's the overlap, and then how do you attack that over time? Even for customers who are not new to this, it's something I recommend redoing periodically, because things change. This is, like John talked about in his talk first thing this morning. This is a market that's evolving. There are a lot of buyers now who are interested in this, but there's going to be more and more every day. So even a quarter from now, the overlap that you have with the cloud providers is going to look different. So I definitely keep coming back to this as an ISV to measure. Kind of a sneak preview to the future. What if Tackle could provide the same kind of overlap analysis for channel partners? So we could show you, of all the channel partners who are working with these cloud providers, which ones do you have the best overlap with? How do you get in? That would give you some direction on which ones you should start working with, maybe which ones you should start integrating some CPPO kind of activities with, some private channel partner private offers, and or maybe even what if we could do that for major ISV partners? Say that you wanted to develop a co-sell program with Salesforce. You know, what would that look like? What's the potential there? Those are things that we could do in the future. If you're interested in that, let me know as we start to design out what those could look like. Next, as you're planning, building an ICP is a very important activity that every company has to do, and a lot of them struggle with it. So we heard earlier during Jake's session from ZoomInfo, and they talked about how they can help in this area. And so at Tackle, what we do for ourselves is we use a combination of Zoom info data, we're a customer of theirs, along with tackle intent data to help us inform our ICP. And we found that this can be incredibly useful. What we can do as a data product, we're doing this in early access now, is to help our customers analyze their ICP, and then we can make suggestions about how to refine that ICP for cloud go-to-market. What we find is that we might take the ranges that you're thinking about in your broad ICP. We can take a look at all of your transaction history, at your opportunity data, at the types of accounts that you're selling to, and we can suggest a new ICP for you. It's probably a more refined version of your broader ICP, but it's going to help you get more targeted to specific types of accounts that are a good fit for cloud go-to-market. And having both of these side by side can be really powerful. It's something you can take up to a leadership team and say, hey, look, we've agreed that this is our ICP in general. But as we think about our cloud go-to-market motion, a more refined version of that is here. And it gives you a really great place to start a discussion about what kind of accounts you should be going after and what the potential of cloud go-to-market really looks like for you. Next, moving down the line is ABM activities. In this screenshot, what we're showing here is 6 Sense, where your marketing team might be doing some customer segmentation of your account lists, doing some filtering on lots of different types of intent scores. The more signals that you have, the better. And Tackle can become one of those key signals. This is something that we use for ourselves, and also something that a lot of our customers are seeing really tremendous success with is right within 6 Sense. This works today. You can connect it out to Salesforce, where we're storing our intent data, and you can pull in those scores and start to do filtering and segmentation on Tackle's data, along with all the other signals that you're seeing. So as you're building campaigns, or as you're building account lists or territories for specific reps, you can take that into consideration, and you can route deals that are highly qualified for cloud go-to-market in specific directions, or run campaigns against those. Next is account planning. This is probably of customers who have used Tackle's data products, this is the one that they probably have the most exposure to. This has been used over 4 million times, which is pretty crazy growth. When the team actually told me that stat, I had to pause for a second and say, like, hey, could you go back and check that, make sure that that's correct, because it's a lot. But it was correct. That is true. And so what this means, when we're talking about targeting, is building an account plan or an action plan for specific accounts that are at some level of qualification within your pipeline, probably a little bit later level. You want to know 3 key things for each account. You want to know about the co-sell, you want to know about marketplace, and you want to know about channel. So what we can do is to help give your sellers direction on each of those things. We can tell you, first of all, is this a good fit for marketplace? If so, which marketplace? Because it's a big difference. If a seller is going to go out and initiate a conversation, they need to know how to start that conversation. Should they start by talking about AWS, or should they start by talking about GCP? We can give them that direction. It doesn't mean that we're always right. Sometimes we might be off, but it gives you a starting place to know how likely they are to think about each marketplace. After that, you need to have a strategy about how you're going to engage that cloud provider. Is it a good fit for co-sell or not? Is a little bit of a different question than is it a good fit for marketplace? And so we have models that can help answer that question and can help you understand when you need to submit it as a co-sell opportunity and how qualified it's going to be for the AWS team. Are they going to want to accept it? That's really the key question. And we can help give you guidance there. If it comes back as incredibly low, maybe you know not to waste your time on this one. This isn't a good fit. Similar for channel. We can tell you if it's a good channel opportunity, and if so, which channel provider is a good opportunity for. This is one of the main questions that sellers have when they're thinking about channel is like, well, I think maybe this is a good channel opportunity, but I don't know. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know which one it's gonna actually work with. And we can connect you to the right channel partners who know how to sell through the marketplaces that you're targeting, because they don't all use all three. So we can make those matches and give you that account plan, which can save your team tons of time as they're thinking about mapping these out at the start of a sales cycle. Next, this is a new one that's coming soon that we haven't talked much about, but is co-sell automation. So before we were talking about account planning on an individual account level, but when you're really at scale with one of the cloud providers, really engaging in their co-sell programs, you need to move beyond doing it on a one-by-one basis and thinking about it much more holistically across all of your opportunities and all of your accounts. To do it manually is a very time-consuming process. It's something that we offer as a managed service that many of our customers have great success with, is that Tackle will take over the responsibility of running these co-sell programs because it's so time intensive and difficult to do. What we want to do is to offer customers an alternative. Maybe they're not ready for our managed services program, and so they should have a co-pilot with them in Salesforce that's helping them search through all of their opportunities, figure out which ones need to be submitted, and synchronizing all of those with the cloud provider at the same time. This can save over 20 hours per week, and not just submitting them and synchronizing them, but keeping them up to date, because eventually the cloud provider is going to be responding. They're going to be accepting some, they're going to be denying some, they're going to be requesting more information. Some of the sales reps are going to try to get in touch. And as that happens, we're going to be sending notifications to the right people on your side. We're going to be saying like, look, here's the email address and the phone number of the seller you need to talk to. Or like, hey, alliance person, these particular deals need more details. You need to go work on those. These ones are all good. Don't worry about it. So we can keep this going on an ongoing basis and help you improve all the metrics that those cloud providers care about, that they want to see from you. Those are things like the number of submissions in general that you're doing, what we call our batting average, or how many of those submissions are being accepted, how responsive you are. If they ask for information, how fast do you get back? And of course, what are your close rates? How many of these co-sell opportunities actually result in closed deals? We can help you improve all of those metrics over time using this co-sell co-pilot tool that will be ready for customers soon. And then last, this one's in early access with some customers already, is expansion of your account list. So we have your account lists. We can help score those. We can help show you the overlap with cloud providers. But what if you're missing some accounts on your account list? You've done your best effort to build a great account list according to your ICP. You've pulled in all the data you need for those accounts. You're starting to work on them. But what we find is that still there are some great accounts out there in the world that aren't on your account list, and we can help you discover those. So as we go through the process of showing you recommended actions and then tracking to see what actually happens, to seeing what works and what doesn't work, we can show you accounts that you don't know about that are awfully similar to the ones that are working really well for you, and we can feed those back into your account lists. It's almost like demand generation. It's almost like an expansion of your ICP. There's lots of different ways to think about it, but what we're really doing is helping you find those outliers that you may have missed as you did your initial account discovery. So those are the 6 data products that we have coming up. It's an area that I'm really passionate about. So if anybody wants to talk about those or learn more about those, please reach out anytime. This is the end of our session for today. I hope everybody really enjoyed it. I learned a lot, honestly, watching it. So I hope everybody was able to find value in it. Tomorrow we are going to start again. XP starts again tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time. So if you're registered, you should be able to good to go. You can rejoin us at that time. And lots of great programming on the schedule for tomorrow. So thank you all very much. And have a good evening. Thanks for joining us today.